Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this You Ask, We Answer Kinesiology presentation. We're just going to give it a minute or two for attendees to get in, and then we'll start with introductions, followed by a presentation, and then being able to have the chance to ask your questions. So for students, admitted students in the room, one, congratulations on being admitted to PLU. And we will be using the Q&A feature throughout this. So if you put a question within the RSVP, we have that on standby. But as more questions come up, which they always do, please put it in the Q&A. I'll be monitoring that for our question and answer section after a brief presentation. So we'll give it just another minute or two for people to trickle in, get home from work, have all the things. It's also a nice sunny day out. At least one more for a few days. It seems like we're on the tail end of this. Awesome. Give it about 30 more seconds. I know, I wish I was where Susanna was right now, but I am glad that it's not totally dark outside,
Yeah.
like it was for my other sessions. So yeah, great. Awesome. Well, we will get started. My name is Hillary Powell. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admission, and I'm moderating this session today. We're going to start with introductions from our kinesiology representatives, and we will start with Dr. Mann. So if you could give a brief introduction of yourself, how long you've been at PLU, and why you enjoy working at PLU.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Mann. This is my 10th year at PLU. And my area or my academic background, my area of expertise is in cultural sports psychology. And I'm interested in women in leadership issues, as well as some broader sort of coaching and leadership issues that occur in sport. So I'm the chair of kinesiology and just really excited to be here with you. I also was an undergraduate student at PLU and graduated from what is now our kinesiology department, but what was previously under a different name. And I'm just excited to be here with you and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. All right, we'll have the students introduce themselves. So Susanna, do you want to go first and give a little bit of background of name, hometown, and your area within kinesiology and why you chose PLU?
Sure, yeah. So I'm Susanna Lopez. I am originally from Southern California. I'm a transfer student to PLU. My concentration is in health and fitness education with certification. And really, I chose PLU for one, the location is a lot different than California, and two, because of the Kinesiology program. Yeah, that really caught my attention when I came for a tour, and I was hooked ever since.
Great, awesome. All right, John.
Hello, my name is John Green, and I'm a senior in the pre-physical therapy program. I'm from Boise, Idaho originally. Then I went all over the place, and then now I ended up here. I transferred from Pierce College into PLU, and there was a pretty smooth transition, but I chose the wrong associates, so I'm here for an extra year. But it's still, it's been wonderful work being a student at PLU.
Great. John is in one of our kinesiology spaces, so it's a very fitting background. Awesome. Alrighty, well, Dr. Mann, I'm going to hand it over to you for the kind of brief presentation side, and then students, as you have questions throughout this, please put them in the chat or in the Q&A, and we can monitor those as we're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks, Hillary. I just want to tell you a little bit about our department and what's unique about our department, and hopefully answer some of the questions. I know some of you wrote a few questions in advance of this webinar, and so just want to try to answer those a little bit as well. So like I mentioned before, I'm the chair of the department this year and have been at PLU for 10 years. Our mission in the Department of Kinesiology is to provide quality academic professional preparation for undergraduate students in areas related to human movement. And you'll see us, throughout the presentation, you'll hear students speak about the different areas that might include. So things like health and fitness, or areas like health and fitness education, which Susanna mentioned. You heard John mention pre-physical therapy. We also have two other concentrations, exercise science and one in health and fitness promotion. And so I'll talk with you just briefly about those as well, so you can kind of get an idea of what you might want to pursue within the department at PLU. So why kinesiology at PLU? First, we have really small, or not really small, we have small class sizes. We have about 30 students in our class, in most of our courses. Some of our applied courses have smaller number of students, around 24, 25. And we try to keep those smaller so that you can do some of those hands-on tasks and activities within the class. And so they vary, but usually between about 25 and 30 students per class that you would be in. And regardless of your concentration, you would be in classes with students who are in a variety of different concentrations. So for example, if you're interested in pre-physical therapy, you're also going to be in a class with students who are interested in teaching physical education or teaching health. You're going to be in classes with people who are interested in strength and conditioning, which really creates opportunities for discussion and to really consider how you might apply some of the concepts you're learning in class. We also have faculty who serve as your advisors. So you not only get to know them in the classroom, but you also are being advised or guided by them to ensure that you kind of have an idea of how your academic pathway is leading to your career interests, and they can guide you along the way in case you decide, I thought I came in interested in strength and conditioning, but now I know I'm interested in teaching, or I know I'm interested in athletic training. Then the same people that are teaching you in the classes can see that, can recognize that. It can also help you identify your own strengths and kind of help you to maybe narrow down different career interests or options. So that's a bonus. We're also a professional program within a liberal arts context. And so what that means is that you're going to learn how to think critically in a variety of different classes. You're going to learn how to present verbal information effectively and write effectively. And we believe that that's a bonus, or we believe that that sort of enriches your experience in kinesiology. Those are some of the same skills that many of the professionals in our respective areas and fields are interested in. So you're going to get that education alongside your pre-professional training. And then finally, you're going to hear me talk about several different opportunities, but we pride ourselves on the applied experiences and the fact that we as a department move throughout our curriculum. We've built in opportunities for you to learn the theory and the research, and then have opportunities to apply that information in the field. And you'll hear students, I'm sure, talk about their applied experiences that they've had so far in their academic career as well. Just a little bit more about our department before I get into some of the concentrations. We've consistently been ranked one of the top kinesiology programs in the Pacific Northwest, and we're one of the top 150 kinesiology programs in the United States. And that's been fairly consistent as well for the last 4 years since these rankings started becoming more popular and more cited. We're also one of the top, or we're one of the most popular degree programs at PLU. So you'll be entering this degree program with at least 160 students. This is sort of low estimate. We're usually between about 160 and 200 students. And then we have 60 students that minor. Some of those 60 are also student majors that we have, and we'll talk about that. But we also have students who you'll be taking classes with, for example, that are nursing majors or psychology majors, and they're minoring in kinesiology. We also offer the most popular minor at PLU, which is in exercise and sports psychology. Most of the minors that you see listed there are minoring in exercise and sports psychology. In fact, I think at least one of our students is also minoring in exercise and sports psych. And so you might hear some about that as well, and how it complements some of the what they learn in that minor helps to complement some of what they're learning in their major. For example, John is in one of our courses right now that's part of that minor. And so I was just asking him before this webinar what he's going to be learning, and he's going to be learning tonight about how to help people develop confidence, what that means, how he can develop confidence in himself. So you learn those types of knowledge and skills alongside his areas of interest, which are more focused in physical therapy settings. And again, we offer 4 separate concentrations. So it's not just kinesiology. Once you get into kinesiology, you find your path or you find your fit. And we'll talk about each of those 4 concentrations or opportunities in just a moment. I think you'll hear me talk about each of our faculty in a moment, but I think our faculty make up the strength of our department. We have faculty who are some of the most respected scholars and thought leaders in their respective fields. And so they'll be the people in the classroom. We don't have graduate students teaching our courses. We don't have, all of our faculty have the terminal degree in their field, which for us is a PhD. And so you'll be taught by those people and be receiving information or learning information that's sort of on the cutting edge of their respective fields. Okay. What I hope you'll do when you come to PLU and you major in kinesiology is to get involved, right? And I talked a little bit about our theory to practice philosophy or orientation. We have a focus on pre-professional education, which for us means that you're going to have an opportunity to engage in internship and service learning opportunities. Every student who majors in kinesiology will have an internship experience. For Susanna, that's going to be student teaching. For John, that's going to be helping in a physical therapy setting. And he may have opportunities depending on his areas of interest. He may have interest in pediatric PT, and so there may be potential opportunities for him there. He may be interested in inpatient opportunities or more hospital or clinical types of settings. And so what I can tell you is that if you major in kinesiology at PLU, you will not only be learning in the classroom, but you will have field experience so that you can really start to figure out where you want to be before you sort of get too far down the path of thinking you want to go into a particular career field and then figure out later that maybe that doesn't suit you as well. We offer some study away programs, one of which we offer as an opportunity for you to earn credit towards your major. And that's an adapted physical activity course, but we also offer other courses. So that class happens in London and a couple of other towns throughout England. But we also have other opportunities, for example, in Namibia, where we've sent students previously, in Norway, where we've had students study as well and earn different credits related to the natural sciences or earn different minors in the field of kinesiology. And so we're supportive of that as a department and encourage our students to take those opportunities. You can also get engaged in student faculty research. We used to have a research club, and now so many of our faculty members are interested in doing research with faculty. You can sort of have those opportunities depending on your areas of interest. You just sort of align with the faculty member, and then you can sort of create a project with them depending on their availability and shared areas of overlap. We do have one kinesiology club. It's called KFC. It's our Kinesiologists of the Future Club. And so there's opportunities for you to engage that way as well. And they host events every year, trying to get more of the campus community active and involved in physical activity and health experiences. Here's some of our students in action. So you can see in the bottom left corner of your screen, that's our team building class. So it's one of our applied learning experiences within that class is that our students engage together in a high ropes course. But they learn how to both experience team building activities as well as lead team building activities. So if you're interested in helping to develop groups and teams, that's a class that you can take. You see on the left-hand side of your screen, if you just sort of work your way up, we have students who have competed in the Student Bowl at Northwest ACSM, which is a regional conference. So they represented our department, and they placed, you can see them celebrating with their trophy, but they placed as one of the leading programs on in the Pacific Northwest in terms of their knowledge. You also see that, students that have presented at different conferences. So you see them posing with different faculty members as part of the research team that they were part of. We have brought in a variety of different guest speakers. You see in the top right-hand corner, a member of the U.S. Women's National Team that came in to speak to our applied sports psychology course one semester. You see some of our teacher prep students that have presented at Shape Washington. You see in our adapted physical activity and sport class, you see some of our students there working with wheelchair basketball athletes. So there's just a variety of ways to get involved in kinesiology at PLU and to find your fit, right? That's one thing that you will hear our faculty talk about over and over again, is to try to figure out what you're interested in, and then how do we support those interests and help you to find pathways to pursue them. I said I would mention our faculty, and that we have some of the leaders in their respective areas. Dr. Farrar is our teacher preparation or teacher education expert. And so if you're interested in health education or physical education, she's going to be someone that you will connect with. She just helped to change the law in Washington State and create more of an adapted physical activity. Well, PLU is going to become the first institution in the state that offers continuing education in adapted physical education. And so that's something we're proud of and something she helped to spearhead. Dr. Hacker is our sport and exercise psychology expert and has been a member of 6 different Olympic staffs with different Olympic teams. She also, the team building class that I just mentioned and the exercise and sports psychology course that I mentioned earlier are both courses that she teaches. Dr. Katika has started his own nonprofit. It's called Rainier Adaptive Sport, and he helps provide in the South Sound community opportunities for youth athletes with disabilities to become involved in a variety of ways. Several of our students are involved in those endeavors now. You've already met me. Dr. Martin is, her areas of interest are in health and exercise psychology, as well as social psychology of sport. Dr. McConnell is working as a vice president at the university, associate VP at the university now, and she continues to teach some of our nutrition or our nutrition course, and we love having her back in the classroom as often as we can get her back in the classroom. And then Dr. Papadopoulos, and he works mostly in the exercise science aspects of our field, and his interests are in working with older adults and members of our aging population. He does a lot of fall prevention work with members of our community in the Tacoma and Parkland areas. Okay, I mentioned 4-degree programs or 4 concentrations. I'm going to briefly go through them. We have 2 in the Bachelor of Arts program within kinesiology. One is health and fitness promotion, and this is for anyone interested in the applied aspects of our field that wants to go into the professional arena when you graduate. So people interested in strength and conditioning, personal training, nutrition, dietetics, any of those areas. If you're interested in corporate fitness, right, working at Nike or Costco as their corporate wellness director. If you're interested in community health, then this is an area. We have a graduate who's working with the city of Puyallup right now as a recreation director and leader, for example. Health and fitness education with certification. We have a student on this webinar this evening that can speak to her experiences there. And so I won't speak too much about this, but if you're interested in health education or physical education in an elementary, middle school, or high school setting, then this is the concentration for you. We have a 100% placement rate. If you graduate from this concentration and you want a job as a teacher in a K-12 educational setting, teaching either of these areas, you will have that opportunity graduating from PLU. Here are some of the other areas that we've had students graduate from our BAK program and go into these particular areas, either in graduate programs or in applied aspects of our field in some of the professional areas. So you can just sort of see those on your screen. In our Bachelor of Science program, we have, again, 2 concentrations. We have our pre-physical therapy program. This is designed to meet 90% of the DPT programs across the country, their entrance requirements. Including that you will earn more than 100 hours of internship. We actually require you to earn 120 hours, so you'll meet that requirement as well. And then we have our exercise science concentration. And this is really for students who have a really strong interest in some of the clinical aspects of our field. So if you're interested in athletic training, occupational therapy, clinical exercise physiology, maybe you're interested in research areas related to biomechanics, or you become really interested in cardiac rehabilitation, so working with people who have experienced a stroke or a heart attack and helping them to recover, then exercise science is the concentration that would work best for you. So we have a variety of areas that you could find yourself and find your fit. You can also find us on social media. So I put our various social media accounts listed there for you. But we're just really excited to be here with you this evening and to answer any questions that you might have.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Mann. It's always fun for me to listen in on these because I kind of get to hear the updates from the year and what recent grads are doing, and especially around kind of the sports psychology side of it. I always, as that has become, you know, more popular, things that we're getting asked in admission quite often is, you know, do you have sports psychology, or what does that look like at PLU? I can confidently say that we've been doing it, you know, much longer than a lot of other places, and that we have truly one of the leaders within the industry on faculty with us. And those are, I think, really great ways as it's suddenly, you know, becoming more of a mainstream topic within kinesiology, that PLU has had such a stronghold in that area. Starting with Susanna, do you mind kind of sharing how you chose to go into the kind of health education side? What are some of the classes that you've taken, and how do you feel like they're kind of prepping you for post PLU life?
Yeah, so I think I chose the teaching route more to just interact with the kids. I really want to, I think with the pandemic, we didn't really see a lot of kids going out and play, and a lot of kids are losing that touch. So I think that's what really caused it. Some of the classes I'm taking now, I'm doing my middle school practicum where I go and I shadow a teacher. That's pretty cool. I've done a lot of just like elementary PE classes. I've done a group fitness class. I've done all these classes that I'm really, really excited to hopefully put in one of my classrooms one day. And I'm just really excited. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. One of the questions that got put in the Q&A, which if you have them, please put them in. But I think actually lines up well for John, which is what does a typical kind of like class schedule or day look like for a pre-PT student? So what classes are you taking? What type of things? I think maybe also outside of the classroom, what are some of the things that you do, whether that's lab work or things to kind of help prep you for PT school and also completing your degree?
So the typical like class schedule, I mean, you can kind of like maneuver things around and place things as long as there's no prerequisites for that class. Like you can kind of place your classes how you want them. And that's just something that you would decide with your advisor, who's also, you know, kinesiology professor. So it goes pretty, they have a good understanding of like what classes kind of work well together and which ones you should take together and which ones you should kind of like maybe take this one after this one. Or but schedule wise, for me, the most I've ever done is like 2 classes. So today I had my biomechanics class with Dr. Katika, and then that was from like 11:50 to 1:35. And then this evening I have from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. my applied sports psychology class. The applied sports psychology class is not a requirement for physical therapy, but I'm also minoring in personal training. So and that's a requirement for that. But I think honestly, the applied sports psychology class is something you should, like, everyone should take. I think everyone could get a lot out of it. Yeah, I couldn't say more about that. Uh, Otherwise, a lot of the pre-physical therapy requirements are going to be like your biologies, chemistry, physics, and then general education requirements, and then like I think it's 10 total credits of kinesiology, 300 level or higher kinesiology classes. So it really depends on what your minor is, or if you're even going to minor, how like hard your schedule is going to be, or how fast you want to get through it.
Yeah.
Me, I did 2 years at Pierce College, and then I came over here, and I was thinking like, oh, 2 years is going to be, I'm going to zoom through this. And no, I had to slow down quite a bit. And instead of 4 years, though, I'm turning it into 3 years. So
Yeah.
you can definitely knock some stuff out over the summer if you want, but that course schedule can be a little bit harder.
Yeah. Can you and or Dr. Mann kind of talk about, beyond just the pre-PT degree that a student would get, the supports that the faculty in the kinesiology program helps provide to students who in that application process to PT school? Because I know that's a question we get a lot within the admission process.
Sure, yeah. So I'll take it first, and then John, if you want to add in, please do. So all of our kinesiology faculty also serve as advisors for students, and so we match our advisors with our undergraduates based on their areas of expertise. So, for example, if you're interested in pre-physical therapy, we would match you with a faculty member who has spent considerable time with students in previous years, helping them with the application process, meaning we ask students to be the starting point. We want you to figure out which schools you're most interested in. Now it's an online process, so you create the same type of application materials, and then you can send it out to multiple institutions at the same time. But we can walk you through some of the processes related to how our internship, we make sure that all of our paperwork is in line, so that all you have to do is submit it. There's nothing else for you to do there. And the same is true when you're working through your resume. PLU has a variety of different resources that we can connect you with different departments on campus, and some of our faculty can work with you through highlighting different aspects of your educational career that put you in particular positions to meet the entrance requirements of those schools. So each student's a little bit different in terms of how much assistance they prefer or want, but we're here to guide and to provide support in whatever way would be useful for you. And so we're available through the advising piece in that regard.
John, have you started this process yet, or kind of what's your pathway for this?
I haven't started this process yet. This is kind of something that I've been trying to gear up for. I haven't done my internship just yet. That's something I'm going to do over the summer, ideally. But just I can add on that, like, pretty much everyone in the faculty have been very open to discussing their experiences or any like common complications that people run into. So you just have this wealth of knowledge from everyone in the faculty that are just so willing to kind of, they want to watch you succeed. I mean, you still have to do the effort or put forth the effort, but they're going to give you like all the tools you need. So that's my experience.
Yeah, that's great. One of the questions that we get quite a bit, and that came in through some of the research we had done before this, is that how does a student maybe like really decipher, and you kind of touched on this, Dr. Mann, but maybe you can expand, and or John or Susanna can, give your own personal experience, but specifically within the BSK, when you're kind of trying to decide between exercise science and pre-PT, what that kind of class load looks like, and specifically maybe the differences in the types of classes you take within those two programs as students are maybe deciding, okay, I want to go the pre-PT route, or, oh, there's some classes in there that maybe I know aren't my strong suit, so I maybe want to go the exercise science route.
Sure. Yeah. Like I mentioned, we designed our pre-physical therapy concentration to meet the entrance requirements for the vast majority, 90% of DPT programs across the country. So we have students who graduate from our pre-PT program and they attend schools like Michigan State or schools on the East Coast. We also have many that attend University of Washington or UPS, right? And so the degree program or the concentration of pre-physical therapy is great if you know for sure you want to go into physical therapy. But if you are interested more generally in rehabilitation sciences like athletic training, occupational therapy, and you're not exactly sure, then exercise science can be a way to start to figure that out and then make decisions. Once you go into the physical therapy track, because it is so focused on physical therapy and meeting the entrance requirements, it doesn't give you a lot of additional course content, meaning it is a pathway to a DPT program. It's not a pathway to meeting the entrance requirements for master's programs in occupational therapy or athletic training, for example. So I always encourage students to take a variety of courses first and then start to kind of narrow. As John mentioned, there are quite a few natural science courses that are required as part of our pre-PT program, and that's because that's what DPT programs want to see. They want to see you have a foundation in the natural sciences. And so you'll take courses like physics, you have a full year of physics, you have a full year of chemistry, you have a 2 full years of biology courses and all the labs associated with those. So if I really am excited about physical therapy, then it sets you up for that. And if you're not exactly sure, then we would encourage you to take a variety of courses in kinesiology and start to do informal through our practicum courses. You can get experiences in physical therapy prior to your internship. Or you can get experiences in athletic training prior to a formal internship. So we would encourage you your first, second, third year to be exploring some of those options so that you can start to narrow and limit and decide on that concentration from there. And I'll just say we have a number of students who come in thinking, I'm really excited about physical therapy. And then they start taking courses and they get really excited about our BA program, health and fitness promotion. I see Susanna laughing. I see John smiling, because they start to get really excited about the hands-on applied experiences. And you get more of those in our health and fitness promotion program, as well as our health and fitness education program.
Yeah. I know whenever somebody's at a college fair and they say, they're interested in pre-PT, I'm like, so do you like your physics class? And do you like chemistry? Because this is what that lines up for. Because oftentimes, right, naturally, and I would assume this too, as, a high school student, I see a physical therapist doing very hands-on work. My assumption would be that that's what your undergrad looks like. And it's just not in how it's set up. And so we also find a lot of students who are like, oh, I end up switching right to something else that gets me more of what I actually, thought this was versus, what it actually might be leading into it. So yes, those natural science courses are important in that pre-PT route.
Yeah. And that's why we have the program set up, the department, the way we set up, the way that we really encourage you to explore, right? And find your areas that you're interested in.
That's great.
I
think one of the last questions we'll ask. Oh, sorry, John, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that those natural science classes, they can be tough, but if you really like the idea and you've worked with physical therapists before, just like with the kinesiology department, all my teachers for like biology and chemistry, I'm about to take physics, have just been phenomenal. So don't be afraid to like reach out if you need help.
Support all around is the very like PLU way of things. So if anybody has any last minute questions, please put them in the Q&A. But another question that I get quite often is, do I have to find my own internship as a part of the program? Is there kind of a bank of internships that students apply for? What's kind of the path to internships within kinesiology? Because each department at PLU does it a little bit differently.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Susanna answer first because she's had some more experiences in some of those applied opportunities. And then John, I don't think you've had internship yet, so I'll step in and answer for the BSK side.
Dr. Farrar is very hands-on with all of us. So she places us in our practicums, especially with teachers that kind of match our personality, which is very, very helpful. But for my next semester will be student teaching. I know that I have to figure out what age range I want to teach. And then from there, she's going to be able to place me with the ideal teacher of like the same personality and stuff like that.
And then for our health and fitness promotion students, our exercise science students, and our students interested in pre-physical therapy, we have an internship coordinator in kinesiology. You complete an internship application where you identify your areas of interest, you identify your some of your other sort of personal factors like your transportation, whether you'd like to stay close to campus or not, and whether you have the ability to travel or not. And so once we have those those pieces of information, then you work specifically with Ms. Beal, who is our internship coordinator, and she works with members of the community to ensure that you are set up for your internship. So we do it all within the department, and it's part of a course. So whether you're a teacher prep student like Susanna, or whether you're in one of our other 3 concentrations, you earn course credit for your work in the field. So while you're out in a physical therapy setting, or you're out in an occupational therapy setting, you are earning course credit while you're in those environments. And so they're associated with courses in that way. That way we make sure that you're earning credit for degree while you're in a formal internship experience.
Awesome. That is great. So for us, we are just at about time. Thank you all for putting in your questions and things that you were wondering about. Thank you to my panelists for your time and expertise, and best of luck, Susanna and John, on your continued journeys at PLU. If you have any other questions following this presentation, you can feel free to email the admission office, and those can get forwarded to Dr. Mann and any of the kinesiology professors or students here today. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I hope it's sunny where you all are, and we'll be in touch soon. Have a great night.